The main problem you run into with lending to an irrevocable trust is that very few lenders want to do that because you're lending to an entity, not an individual.
Tanis, let me ask you a quick question. What's an irrevocable trust, and why do most lenders avoid providing loans to an irrevocable trust?
That's a great question. So an irrevocable trust essentially is a trust that no longer can be modified. So one of the main reasons a trust goes from revocable to irrevocable is if the creators have now passed. So once they pass, it becomes irrevocable because they can no longer make any changes to that trust. Some individuals will actually set up an irrevocable trust just as an asset protection. So it's a form that the attorneys will use to protect assets for individuals. And some people will use this, others use just a regular revocable trust. But the main problem you run into with lending to an irrevocable trust is that very few lenders want to do that because you're lending to an entity, not an individual, when you're closing a loan and putting a deed of trust on that property. So your only action of recourse would be to foreclose on the property and that entity. So whereas if you're dealing with a traditional mortgage, you're foreclosing on the property, but also it's attached to an individual. So a lot of lenders are considering it a higher risk, so they don't like lending to an irrevocable trust.
Yeah, that's great. And let me clarify one thing. Because there's less opportunity for supply, there's fewer lenders wanting to do them. That causes probably a little bit more expensive cost for the loan. Is that a fair statement?
It does, because it's considered a higher risk. So you're going to be a little bit on the higher end with interest rates in comparison to your traditional mortgages. But again, that's because only lenders for these types of loans are private money lending. So you can't just go to a bank and get one of these loans. So you're not dealing with this massive market. You're dealing with private money lenders for these types of loans.